Britain's most successful road cycling squad, but Team Sky has a new name. They'll now be known as Team Ineos, named after one of the companies behind fracking in the UK and owned by Britain's richest man, the billionaire Sir Jim Ratcliffe. But the new name could bring trouble because when the team make their first outing at this week's Tour de Yorkshire, environmental protesters are expected to line the route to voice their anger at Ineos's record on fracking. Our sports editor Dan Rowan reports.
Riding into a new era. What was Team Sky may have a new name and look, but there were plenty of familiar faces at the Team Ineos launch in Yorkshire today. The same cyclists and coaches, but now they've been backed by Britain's wealthiest man. Sir Jim Ratcliffe's bought the country's most successful sports team, and despite a series of controversies and criticism over their methods, the billionaire told me he trusted them.
We looked at all of that, we talked about it, we talked to Dave about it, we did our due diligence. I mean, for the record, I have absolutely no interest in cheating or drugs or anything like that. The day that any of that enters our world, we'll be exiting that world. So what's the point in winning a race if you cheat? I mean, there's no point in that, really. It has turned a corner. It's the only reason we're there. And yeah, we did all our homework and we got comfortable that the procedures and the people were the sort of people we were comfortable with.
Ratcliffe's petrochemicals company Ineos owns fracking licences across this region, and protests are planned at this week's Tour de Yorkshire by environmentalists who accuse him of trying to buy good publicity.
You're investing in a clean sport to try and furnish that image. What would you say to that view?
It's got nothing to do with it at all, in my view. I mean, we've got one half of our business where we have to deal with those issues. So, I mean, you're talking about plastic waste and fracking, but the sport thing's totally different. No. That's something we we enjoy sport, we'll enjoy the challenge, and we think it's inspirational for other people. So that's a completely different side to our business.
Would it sadden you if there were protests in these next few days?
I think it'd be disappointing, but I suppose I wouldn't be totally surprised by it. I think it's a very vocal minority. I think it's a minuscule minority of people. And I think, there's a high degree of ignorance.
Compared to the US, Britain's been cautious towards fracking, and Ratcliffe now fears for the future of the shale gas industry here.
I think the government's being pathetic on the subject. Honestly, frankly, I do. Here you are, sat potentially on some of the world's most abundant and cheapest energy source, because we have results which are really interesting in this part of the world, and the government are just not listening to the science at all, or going across to America and looking what's happened to America.
Meanwhile, Ratcliffe refused to confirm reports he's moving to Monaco for tax reasons.
It's my private affair, I think that. But, I do try to give back to the UK. I mean, I've invested £2.5 billion. I know lots of other things that we are doing in the UK, including Team Ineos now,
Having invested in cycling and sailing, Ratcliffe hasn't ruled out a bid to try and buy Chelsea Football Club. A major new force in British sport seems to have emerged. Dan Rowan, BBC News.